my first impactful player for the weekend was Luka Doncic with his triple-double against the best backcourt since Michael and Scotty, to quote Max Kellerman, or excuse me, just quote Skip Bayless. So Luka had 30, 11, and 10. He continues to bolster his average in the postseason. Out of his this is his 7th postseason game. This is his 3rd triple-double in 7 games. That's ridiculous. Luka's had 30 points in 5 of them. So, I mean, he just continues to show his dominance. The level of his intensity just steps up, man. In the postseason, Luka's not phased. These big moments, these big shots, these clutch performances, they just seem to be a thing of the past for him. He's just like, yo, like, this is what I do. You know what I mean? The kid's only 22. So I really love to see that. And it just obviously 31 points, 11 assists, and 10 boards just show how important he is to this team. And, you know, when he does good, how much we're going to do very well going forward. And then my second most impactful player is going to be Tobias Harris. I mean, Tobias had 37 today in game 1. That's insane considering his career high in general is 40 points. And this was his postseason career high. It looked like every shot he was taking throughout that integrity of that game was going to go in. I mean, he was effective from deep, inside, free throw line. I mean, J. Cole's twin was just cooking on all aspects. And I thought that was the biggest reason why Philly was able to keep that lead. And obviously the resurgence of Joel Embiid in the second half because of the foul trouble he was in the first. The two of them had 67 points combined. But with Tobias Harris kind of taking a lot of the attention off and carrying that offensive load, I thought that was huge. And Philly showed that, that Russell, Westbrook, Bradley Beal, it made no difference. Don't get me wrong, Bradley Beal almost had a triple-double in himself. He had 33, 10, and 6. But overall, I thought that Tobias Harris just made that much of a difference, and that they made that team a lot more potent, even without Joel being able to play in the first half.
No, those are good players that you picked. For me, I'm going to go with Devin Booker and Trae Young. I'll start with Devin Booker first. So this is his playoff debut. First time being in the playoffs in his career. And, dude, he balled out. He had an impressive game. Dropped 34 points, shot 13 to 26 from the field, was able to knock down three-pointers as well. Played 45 minutes in his first playoff game and stepped up big after Chris Paul was dealing with – Chris Paul was in and out of this game just because he was dealing with an injury after I believe he sustained that injury in the first half, if I remember correctly. But Devin Booker was able to knock down some big shots, especially to keep their lead against a Lakers team. The Lakers made some runs to close the gap, but Devin Booker stepped up when he needed to and really gave the Suns the performance he needed to give them to get them this 1-0 lead against the Lakers. And look, Devin Booker is what I would consider one of the most underrated players in the NBA, just because traditionally speaking, the Suns have never been that good of a team, but they are a team on the rise. The addition of Chris Paul has really elevated not just his game, but the entire team's game. And even when Chris Paul was in and out of the lineup today dealing with the injuries that he was dealing with, Devin Booker stepped up and played like a 10-year vet. And they're going to need him to keep on playing this way if they're going to want to win this series against the Lakers, because look, you're going up against LeBron, you're going up against Anthony Davis, arguably two of the top 5 best players in the league. And they're going to need to continue to shoot well. And Devin's going to have to be the guy, I think, to really kind of make it a focal point for the Suns to really have a shot to continue winning against the Lakers. And then, like I mentioned earlier, I picked Trae Young as my other standout. Look, Trae Young was getting FU chants from Madison Square Garden. First game of the series, and he goes out and drops 32 points, 11 of 23 from the field, was 9 of 9 from the free throw line, and made the game-winning layup with just about a second to go in the fourth quarter. And it's
a tough floater.
It's tough. It stunned the Garden. The Garden was really going after Trae, and Trae is kind of similar to Devin. Trae is a little bit younger. He's one of those up and coming point guards in the league. And, some guys, they may fall under the pressure of the bright lights of being in the Garden in the first playoff series for the Knicks. I think, 8 years?
8 years.
It's been a while since the Knicks have been in the playoffs. And the Garden faithful did everything that they could to try to shake Trae Young's confidence. And it didn't work. Because Trae Young, despite how young he is, he stepped up. And to me, it was a surprise. I was not expecting Atlanta to win this game. I thought the Knicks were going to win this game fairly convincingly, just because I liked how they finished the season. They were really kind of battling for that top 4 position in the East, and they were able to get it. And I thought that momentum was going to carry them to getting this game 1 victory over the Atlanta Hawks. The opposite ended up being the case. And Trae Young was a huge part in why Atlanta got the win. And kind of similar to what I said with Devin, they're going to need Trae Young to be on for the rest of the series. I don't know if he's going to be able to do what he did in game 1 going into game 2, but if he can replicate the performance he had in game 1 going into the next game of the Garden, Atlanta could be going up 2-0 in the series. I wouldn't put it past him. Trae is dynamite.
He's a baller, and he's electric. We all know that his 3-point presence is felt, and we all know that he can take it to the basket, can finish at the rim, can shoot effectively from the free throw line, and get teammates involved. So Trae Young is the whole package. So for sure, he needs to remain consistent for them to have a good chance to knock the Knicks off.